We are
We're
back.
back. Yes,
What's up,
sir.
man?
Not much. Not much. Just got done with the July 1st rush.
Yeah,
So I'm happy that's with. Yeah. Still a lot of work to do though. What about you?
I've been trying to book meetings with wealth and estate planners.
Okay.
So that was my week last week. I had three meetings, and yeah, because now it's like the quiet season for I'd say realtors and mortgage brokers. Like maybe less for you, but on our end,
Yeah.
everybody's either like on vacation or just gonna be taking vacation
Yeah.
slash notarizing. So like things that had already been done, they're getting finalized now. So just booking meetings now going forward. And it picks up again like August, I'd say. I don't know
Sure, I
if
guess with construction and
yeah, exactly. But on your
yeah.
end, like now it's crunch time.
Yeah, now it's definitely crunch time. I mean, like we had mentioned, I think we had mentioned in the first episode,
Yeah,
July 1st is like, first of all, related to my work, it's always seasonal in a sense. And
yeah.
now it's just July 1st is it's like the Super Bowl, you know. There's new contracts that start. There's a lot of apartments, move-ins, move-outs. A lot of renovations start because people they'll move out. Let's say June 30th, July 1st,
Yeah.
and if there's those apartments empty, and for example the tenant's been there for 20 years, 25 years, time to renovate. So we got to get all that in order.
Are
It's,
you responsible for like cleaning the stuff out of the apartment?
so we're not responsible for it, but we end up having to organize it because
Yeah. They leave
a
their
lot of
shit
people
everywhere.
a lot of people leave and they just there's no recourse at the end of the day.
You know what are you gonna do?
Yeah, there's nothing to do. I mean, that's what happened to me on July 1st. It was actually a tenant that did a cession de bail, so she did a lease
Yeah.
transfer,
Yeah.
and well, actually, it was a he. He did a lease transfer to a woman, and she was an excellent candidate. We did her credit checks, references, checked her, employment. Everything was good to go. We approved it on our end, and the tenant that gave her the keys, gave her the apartment, he pretty much abandoned his unit,
Okay.
and it ended up we had to kind of step in to help her. I mean, she was a woman alone also, so I mean,
Because you're not allowed like, could you pop in at any point and like take a look at how the person is living, if it's dirty?
we do. When
Okay.
somebody says like when we know that somebody's moving out, I'll always so I'll give you an example. Let's say between January February we're giving out our renewals
Yeah.
for most of the leases that end June 30th. Reason
So
being
six
is
months
by
before.
law, yeah, by law, it's you have to give the renewal 3 to 6 months before the end of the term.
Okay.
So figure the lease is ending June 30th. Typically, will show up between let's say mid January to like end of February is
Yeah.
when we like to do it, and the tenant has 30 days to respond upon receiving the renewal with the new price and all that stuff. So in the time that they answer, we'll make our list of who's leaving and who's staying and whatnot. And then basically you have, that 3-4 months in between where you organize to go take pictures. If you have to plan
Okay.
the renovations, you try to go and plan ahead of time. But when you're doing the visits, typically, you're going to go, you're going to take pictures of the unit, you're going to see what kind of condition it's in.
Yeah.
The thing is, a lot of times when we go, they clean up or that, they'll be more neat.
Yeah.
And then you
They'll hide
show
the
up,
evidence.
yeah, you show up June 30th or July 1st and, they're
Yeah.
exchanging the keys or you're going there to pick up the keys and it's like some people have no shame, man, like abandoned appliances, sofas, beds, bed frames, garbage. Like it's just I don't know, man, I really don't understand some people.
Yeah.
I really don't get it.
You must see a lot of so actually when I bought my place in 2021, we had rented it out for 2 years, and the guy kept asking me, like, over the course of the last year, he kept asking, "Are you renovating? Are you renovating?" But what's it to you, bro? What's it? I get in there, it's a fucking disaster. Thank God I was renovating because it was terrible.
They were playing indoor hockey. What were they doing?
Dude, I honestly, I don't even know. Like
They
there
just,
was like dirty plates in my basement on the floor. There was a
yeah,
kid sleeping in the basement, like no bed frame in the living room, just on a mattress. It was
yeah,
gross. It was gross. My garage had gotten flooded twice. My sump pump had broken the second time. The water like busted all my tile in the garage.
God,
It was really like
it was a nice
looking back,
surprise.
it wasn't that crazy for me because I actually was renovating. I didn't tell the guy because God knows
Yeah.
what he would have done, smashing walls and shit.
Oh
But yeah,
man.
no. I could imagine like walking in on July 1st or whatever moving day, and it's like, what is this?
Yeah, because I mean, as much as you want to plan ahead, there's still that 3 4 month window, and then I guess
Yeah,
some people when they decide or when they know that they're leaving, those last 2 months, it's like they didn't pass a boom, they didn't mop, the walls are
yeah.
dirty. Like you're
They
walking in,
don't
and it's
care. They're getting
not
out, right? They're
this,
leaving.
yeah,
It's not their place.
this is not the apartment that I showed the person that I got to give the key to.
Yeah,
And I mean, you end up finding out when it's last minute. So sometimes you're stuck July 1st, July 2nd, and you're scrambling. You're trying to make the person happy, right?
there's
Just
no
in,
Canada Day for you, my friend.
no, no, no Canada Day.
But that
No,
counts. But,
no, no. But fair. It went well overall. We got through it. We're still feeling like, let's say, a bit of a rush. There's still some apartments that need to be rented.
okay,
There's a lot more demand for rentals in terms of clients. Like I realized the last couple of weeks,
okay,
a
that's
lot of,
good.
yeah, it's good. It's good. It's just, the rental, on the rental side, it definitely got a lot tougher. Let's say compared to like 2 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to work harder and get the job done. But there's definitely a shift in the market when it comes to
yeah,
rentals.
yeah,
Yeah,
guaranteed. I think we're seeing it now. With
yeah,
the immigration and all that shit there. So,
yeah, big time.
but you did get two new contracts. You had
Yeah,
mentioned.
I did get 2 new contracts. I'm happy about that. So
Yes.
yeah, then I think when we were talking, we were saying like you had asked me how did you get the contract, and it's
Yeah. How do
crazy.
you get the business?
Exactly. I mean, I myself, I never did any like marketing or anything like that for my company or for my services. It's always been word of mouth. Just
Yeah.
because, say that on the property management side of things, the service that I offer, it's very personalized. Like for
Yeah.
now, it's pretty much me that's doing most of the work. So like what I'm offering, it's good. It's good for a certain type of client, So like let's say families that inherit real estate or people that are occupied and they have their own business and they want to diversify. You don't have the time to take care of the tenant demands, the requests, all the
Yeah.
paperwork, the follow-ups, the rent collection. So that's where I can kind of step in. And in both cases, it was referrals from other people that I had done rentals for. So I didn't necessarily manage for these other people, but I had gotten a reference through doing rentals, and they were happy with my services, and I would try my best to put in a good tenant. They saw that that effort that I put in. They referred me for rentals. I did the rentals for these potential new clients. At the time, I didn't know that they could be potential new clients, but
Of course.
yeah, you end up building some trust, and they like the way you do things, and then next thing you know,
Yeah.
you get offered. You get to offer them different services, and it's nice. I'm happy.
Good. It's kind of similar like on my end. The cold calling or the cold leads, like it's tough because you're in an industry where the client is expecting to trust you, you know.
Yeah,
So
big time.
you kind of want to get the referral from somebody who you already do business with or who you know.
Yeah,
With like you're going out on a limb and saying, here, call this person. I know he does good work. Instead of
yeah,
like picking up the phone, hey, do you need XYZ service?
yeah,
Especially on my end when I'm asking for like a mortgage. It's they're large sums of money. Even though it doesn't cost the client anything, you're still like you can still
yeah.
steer the person wrong. You know. So the
And there's
warm leads and the referrals,
you're handling sensitive information at the end of the day.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the clients that are inheriting buildings. That's why I'm booking these, or I had booked these meetings with these estate planners and these financial planners, because these people deal with these things on a daily basis, and people like, I'm like a perfect example where my grandparents, they own a revenue property, and like, what's gonna happen? What's the best move once they are like? Are you guys gonna decide to sell? Are you gonna decide to give it to the kids? Is it gonna just be floating in the estate after somebody passes away? And like, what are the strategies to avoid paying a huge penalty on capital gains?
Definitely.
So yeah, the whole point was like to get these clients that try to save them money on refis, and not make them pay taxes for no reason. But we were talking before the rules of the estates and capital gains.
Yeah.
So like for my home, it's not a revenue property; it's a bungalow.
Exactly.
And then when it gets sold, there is no capital gain tax, right?
Yeah, because if you reside in the property, 100% of the property, then there's no capital gains.
However, if somebody dies and there is actually, could be important, because like, now I'm going back here, but when I was telling you, I read on this report, I can't remember where, but there's $2 trillion being passed down in Canada from boomers to the next generation. So there's like a lot of money that's going to be given back to the government in taxes.
Big time.
So this might touch a lot of the 27 loyal viewers that we have. If this could be for you guys, if you have money.
We hit 100 followers on Instagram, so that's
101.
101.
Yeah. No, but what the fuck was I saying now? The transfer of wealth.
Yeah.
If somebody dies and a revenue property is being held in an estate,
yeah,
you're paying capital gain tax no matter what, correct?
Yeah. So, from my understanding, I mean, eventually, hopefully, it'd be nice to get a professional on here that can really give us the good advice. But
we're not professionals in estate planning here.
No, definitely not. But from the questions that I've asked, the answers always, once it gets transferred into the estate, there's a capital gain that needs to be paid by the estate.
By the estate, yes.
Exactly. And the capital gain is, let's say, it's a revenue property that the person didn't live in.
So 100% rental.
100% rental. Then it's literally the price that you paid it. You have to get a market evaluation. And that difference, you're paying a capital gain on that. The estate is paying a capital gain on that.
The estate. So the people who bought, like my grandparents, for example, in 1980 for $30,000, and is now worth 1.1, 1.2.
Yeah,
it's a hefty price to pay.
It is. That's why you got to be liquid, or you got to be willing to refi. If you want to sell, that's another option as well. A lot of people go through that. There's a lot of parties involved. Sometimes people don't want to be in business, but I mean, most of the time, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say what the right play is, because I think it's just case by case.
Yeah, it's not for everyone to own rental properties in the first place. Yeah. Especially if you're a business owner or whatever. If you have like too much on your plate, maybe the best option is to just get rid of the place. There's also the conversation of like, if these people have kids, if there's more than one person involved in the conversation, some people might be on the same page, others might not be.
Yeah, then people are at different stages in their lives as well.
Yeah.
Might be of a certain age, you want to retire. So, the fuck do I need to get calls from tenants for? What do I got to deal with this?
Yeah.
You have to have an appetite for it, that's for sure.
Yes, and on the personal side, I think we had said that there's a grace period of 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I understood. That the estate is be open for 3 years. Yeah.
The estate. So if the estate owns a non-revenue property, so like a home like myself, like a cottage or a bungalow, whatever, something that
Yeah.
doesn't bring in revenue, the estate has 3 years to liquidate, right, of the asset.
3 years is like the grace period before I think any income that's generated is taxed at the highest bracket automatically. And
Okay.
that's, yeah, it's something along those lines. Like, don't quote me at
Yeah.
100%, but like just speaking with fiscalists or people that are, you know, more into that, the 3 year window is what I've heard more than once. You cannot
Because
decide within those 3 years because any revenue that's generated in the estate will be taxed at the max.
any revenue, yes, but if it's not a revenue generating property, then
Okay.
normally you're not taxed on the capital on capital gains, right? Because the property itself never generated revenue.
No. But let's say, from my understanding, once it gets transferred into the estate, it's getting transferred, let's say, at the book cost. So let's just say it's
Yeah.
the person lived in this property, they bought it for 100,000, now it's worth $1 million. That $900,000 gain is non-taxed because the person occupied 100% of the unit once it enters the estate. But if it stays in the estate for a year and a half, 2 years, and it's never been rented or nothing, and it just so happens that the market goes up, well, now the moment that it leaves the estate, the difference from the million to what it's worth, let's say a year and a half later, it goes up 50,000. Well, now you're paying taxes on that 50,000.
Yeah.
That's what I understood. Yeah.
So
Thing.
that was the themes of my conversations was to help these clients that are going through these things, to help
Yeah.
them, maybe like it might be in their best interest to refi. I actually just did a refi file. It was unfortunate, but the lady needed to refinance her home
Okay.
because she got this inheritance of a revenue property and she didn't have the money to pay the capital gains.
Yeah, it's tough to be liquid in order to pay these taxes, especially like when somebody owned it for years. You're talking about, tax bills of 200, 250,000, 300,000.
Easy, yeah. So you just finished paying off your home, imagine, at like 50 years old, and now you gotta take out another mortgage because you just inherited. Yeah, and like it depends. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing, right? It depends how it's handled.
Yeah. Well, you see, like I'm in real estate, so for me that would be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, for
Somebody
sure.
doesn't want to be in real estate, or somebody doesn't have the appetite for it. What's the point? And
Yeah,
then they're right. Like, what is the point? You know?
it depends. It depends where you're at, like you said.
Yeah. At that point, you're better off selling. But yeah, it's interesting. But going back to today we started a little bit late, it's like 9:15. But I was
Yeah.
sending out some applications. Today I had some visits. Like I had mentioned, the rental market's not the best right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty happy to getting the messages that I got where we're interested in the apartment, we want to apply, we're ready to send our documents. And I was thinking maybe it'd be useful to walk through that process, like what I do, for example.
Yeah, of course.
So let's say we have an apartment for rent. Once we post it, we try to get as many visits as possible. Prior to booking the visits, you try to screen them on the phone. So we'll ask whatever questions. What's the reason that you're moving? What month are you moving in for? Do you have any pets? What's your situation? Just try to feel them out and have them talk a little bit. And then once you feel like, okay, this could work, you book your visit. You do the visit. Hopefully they like the place. And when they do, it's pretty standard. I mean, I think everybody asks pretty much for the same thing. But nowadays, like 9 out of 10 cases, you're asking at least for a credit check.
Yeah.
You're asking for a proof of pay or proof of income of some sort. Even if the person is retired, or even if the person, let's say, is getting help from the government, or whatever the case is, bursaries, you want to have a proof of at least, you want to figure a 3x multiple. You want to have the income be at least 3x the rent, the net income. That's kind of what we base ourselves on.
Okay. The income, like on a yearly basis, on a monthly basis.
Monthly. Yeah. So, and then from there, what we'll do is we always ask for references. So the references
Okay.
of where they've lived, if they lived somewhere before, and we'll call their prior landlord. We'll ask the questions. We act
And
like
this person
personally,
stuff, or did they pay on time? Were they
yeah,
clean?
like why the fuck are they leaving?
Yeah.
And you know what? One of the things that I do, and I'm not sure a lot of people do it, is I go and check and see if the information that they're giving me of the landlord matches. It's like, I'll go check on who owns the place. Is the name the same? I'll go on Yellow Pages. I'll see if the number matches. I mean, you'd be surprised. There's nothing stopping me from putting you, Giancarlo, as a reference, saying your name is something else, and just saying, hey, if you get this phone call asking about me, say I'm the best tenant in the world, you know? And those are the things you want to avoid. So it's all like the little tricks of the trade that you end up, learning. Been doing this for like 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that I do that I think a lot of people don't do. And then it's also on the regie side. So when you're able to do credit checks and you're able to ask for this information, you get to see, let's say, previous addresses, and we're able to punch those into La Regie to check if there's ever been files, for late payment or frequent late payments and all that
Any
stuff.
judgments or whatever, yeah.
Exactly. And that's pretty much it. And then you just
And then you pull the trigger.
Yeah. Well, tonight I'm going to go to bed praying that I'm back good, and that hopefully.
So actually, you're not allowed anymore, if I'm not mistaken, to have post-dated checks. Is that correct?
You're not allowed anymore you're not allowed to force somebody mid-lease, is my understanding. So if somebody's been paying a certain way, you can ask for it. At the end of the day, 2 adults can agree to do anything.
Yeah.
Just a matter of, like, you can't forcefully do you can't force somebody. You could explain to somebody how inconvenient it is to go and knock on their door every month and collect cash. But if somebody wants to tell you,
strongly persuade them to do what the fuck you want them to do.
Like, for example, like, on the new contract that I have, like, the owners had it a certain way. Things have been done a certain way for X amount of years. It's tough when somebody new walks in and it's like, hey, by the way,
your spokes there.
Oh no, I pay the rent on the 7th. Well, what? Your lease says to pay on the 1st. Well, that's what I'm doing forever. There's no
sheriff.
There's no way to force them, in a sense. Like, at the end of the day, they pay their rent. But I mean, it just becomes inconvenient for the manager, for the person responsible.
Yeah.
Because you got to coordinate it, and it's not. But you sit down with them, or you talk to them, and you try to explain to them, like, listen, I have a job to do. Work for me, I work with you.
Sorry, bro. You know exactly what I'm thinking right now.
What do you think? Tell me.
Thank you. Over here, we do it this way, or it's not happening.
My way or the highway? No, you got to be willing to accommodate. But honestly, I don't know how I do it, but you need to have patience to be in this game, big time.
It's all
understanding. You have to be, but there's a fine line, and unfortunately, I've learned the hard way. You can't be too nice, man. There's a reason that there's laws in place, and trust me, I've learned my lesson. A lot of times, I'll look at things from a human perspective. In my head, it's like, you treat other people the way you want to be treated. How fucking complicated? How complicated can it be if I tell you I'm going to pay tomorrow? Like, it's in writing. I took the time to call you. You answered me. You told me tomorrow. And tomorrow comes, you don't pay. And the next day, there's a different story. Like, it's rough. But you don't want to just run for LG and burn someone's name, or burn a bridge, or come off like an asshole. But sometimes you have no choice. And you know what? There's laws in place that they're there to protect people, even though they're not ideal in terms of, like, if somebody doesn't want to pay rent, like, they cannot pay rent and push it for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. It's just the truth. That's a risk that you'd be willing to take if you're going to be in real estate. It's just more, I'm more to the human side of things, where it's like, come on, man. Like, do you really want to go down this route? Do you really want to burn your name? Do you want to have
things out, like human beings?
Like I said, when I do rentals, I'm checking LG.
Yeah.
You don't think the next person is going to check LG? Like, you don't want to go live in a nice place event. Like, you're going to move eventually, probably. Chances are. When you're going to move, that person's going to go and do a background check. That person's going to go do a check at LG. If they're on top of their stuff. And when they do, they're going to see that you didn't pay your rent. Like, do you think you'll look better compared to the person that doesn't have it? Like, to me, it just baffles my mind how people just don't think about the contract. Just don't care. Yeah. Fuck, this matters, man. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Sometimes you have to open files. You go to that AG. I've opened files and I show up and the people have the rent, and it's just like, you just wasted my time and my money.
Yeah.
For what? You couldn't just pay or say you like just keep your word or whatever the case is.
They want to bust your chops.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think going back to what I was saying, there's a fine line, and you need to. Unfortunately, I think you need to learn the hard way, and then you get got a few times, and then it's like,
Yeah.
now it's black and white. I don't care. This is what it is. I didn't make the rules. Follow them. You know?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like in anything, you learn the hard way, and then it doesn't happen again, or at least you hope it doesn't happen again,
Yeah.
because you'll have the experience as to like how to manage a particular situation. And
Yeah,
I don't think you'll know how to do it unless you're in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you can always go and like ask people for advice, but it's a lot of people do things differently. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But I spent, for example, like 6 months before getting started in the industry just shadowing and just like being an assistant on files. And like, yeah, I basically learned everything in those 6 months, like everything I needed to know on how to build, how to speak to a client. But when you're actually working on your own thing and you're dealing with your own clients, you take like your own way of doing things. And it's
Yeah.
like sometimes you're behind something, you're gonna make a mistake. It's just a matter of bouncing back and not making it happen again. Because you're only gonna take in so much of the advice. Like you do need to learn yourself at a certain point in any business, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. The best way to learn sometimes is the hard way, man.
it's to break your face.
Those are the lessons that stick. Unfortunately, it costs a few thousand in lawyer fees, and then
Yeah, yeah, or accidentally paying notary fees
yeah,
and chow commission. It's gone. I've done that a couple of times.
yeah. Well, you
But
learn,
yeah, it's all good.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think we touched base on a few things. You
Yeah.
wanted to talk about a something that's pretty interesting, and actually I know nothing about. And you had said you had worked a file on a reverse mortgage.
Yes.
Did we speak about that already?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I don't know anything about it, so I don't
So
think
a
so.
reverse mortgage is only eligible for people 55 and over.
Okay.
Okay. So retired or pushing retirement. And basically what it is a mortgage that the bank gives you. There's only a couple lenders that do this. And it's for people who either have bigger debts to pay, like creditors to pay off, or they need to pay their mortgage and they can't. And what this bank does is they give you a loan, a mortgage of $300,000-$400,000, whatever the case may be, and you actually never have to pay it back. So you get a lump sum, okay, and you don't have to make any mortgage payments. How this gets like rectified is upon sale of the house, the mortgage gets paid back, or upon death.
Plus interest.
Yes, of course, always interest.
And what's the term of this interest? How does it work?
So the one that I did, she signed for, I can't remember if it was 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
Because at that point,
it is blocked for that time period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like 6.35 or something percent. But you're never making any payments, so you can basically live off of that money as well, right?
Does the interest compound?
The interest compounds. It compounds regularly. So the client has the option to make lump sum payments every year, or the client could work out a payment plan, if you will, every month. But it's not necessary. It kind of defeats the purpose, to be honest with you, because then you would just go get a regular mortgage and make your monthly payments or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's you're getting a check and you're living off of this money, and then when you die, it gets paid back, or when you sell the house, it gets paid back. Wow. But there needs to be equity in the house. That's like the collateral. The backup is that there needs to be equity. Your debt ratios can be super high, but you need to have equity in your house in order for it to go through, and you need to be 55 and up.
Okay. Well, I could see it being worth it for somebody maybe that's of a certain age. Maybe you don't have children, or you don't have, you know, people that you
Yeah,
want to pass down your home to, or whatever the case
100%.
is. It's like, you know
Yeah,
what? I'm cash, and I'm not cash poor, but maybe you don't have, say, a lot of money
yeah,
liquid.
yeah.
You
Liquid
have a
for
paid
sure.
off home. It's like, you know what? I'll take this reverse mortgage. I get to stay in my home. I don't got to move. You don't have to uproot your life. You stay
Yeah.
where you are. You get the money and go on vacation. I mean, 3, 4 times a year. Why
Yeah,
not?
or like even if you do have kids, but if it's let's say it's a single dwelling home and it's worth $1 million and you need 200K
Yeah.
because whatever, I don't
Yeah.
know,
Whatever. Yeah.
like it's not that crazy, you know. Yeah, it's $200,000, but I'm saying like when you sell your house, you're still making that 800K that you can pass down to whoever.
Yeah.
So it gets people out of a jam. It's honestly it's a very very interesting tool because like before getting in the industry, I didn't know about it, and
I've never heard of it. I mean, maybe it's
yeah. 8 months into my career, I ended up doing a reverse file, and it wasn't a big amount. It was actually for like 250, 260, and it was the
okay.
same principle. Like the home was worth about 900K.
Wow. Fully paid off.
She had $150,000 left on her mortgage,
Okay.
so that got absorbed,
Okay.
and she used the rest to I don't know if she was paying off some debt, and then the rest to live off of. She was also like doing she wasn't declaring much, but she didn't need much to live. So whatever, I don't know if she was working part time at. I don't know what she was doing honestly, but
Yeah, that's fine. Everything's
whatever. She wasn't using that money to put towards her mortgage. It wasn't enough, and she had renovations or something to pay off, and that's how we got it done.
yeah. That's
So yeah, she got refused with her bank. No other
for
bank was going to take her
regular
because of
mortgage.
her situation, because she was technically speaking retired on paper. I don't know if I'm allowed to be saying this, to be honest with you, but yeah,
Keep chop.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's a bit too much details there. Too many
Yeah, we have
details.
to. We're gonna have to delete some of that. It's
Read a bit
okay.
of this, bit of that. What? Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch up on?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Not really. Then we can wrap it up.
I'd like to get a guest on. I think that should be like our goal. Let's say within the next month.
The
Let's do
next
it.
month, that's like the next 4 episodes.
Yeah. Let's say within the
I
next
think
four
we can get
episodes.
it done.
I think we can get it done. We'll think of some people. Send out some DMs.
Okay.
Slide in some DMs. Right?
We could definitely work on that.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be interesting. Curious to see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Did we get any questions last episode?
I don't think we did. We should probably start off the podcast because, who knows who lasts 30 minutes in. So we should probably say, like, hey guys, you have any questions at the very
That's
beginning?
How about knock that ease on, chum?
Yeah. So I'm sure we lost some views along the way, like 10 minutes in.
Probably.
It's all good.
That's a good fucking point. Food for thought. Next
Yeah.
episode, we will start it off. Let me write this down. Yeah. So we have to. Oh, the tenant just filled out the application.
Bang.
Let's go. Let's hope they have a good credit. So next episode, we'll start it with.
I'm ending this episode here.
You're what?
I'm ending it.
Yeah, and the
Buonanotte.
ciao.
Ciao.